New York Yankees. Over on the West Coast, Dodgers-Padres series at Petco Park. The Padres win 2 of 3, win the first 2 games of this series. Both games that they won pitched brilliantly. A great start from Darvish on Friday night and a great start from Nestor Cortes Jr. against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the team that haunted him in the World Series on Saturday. Padres won both those first 2 games, allowing only 1 run. The Dodgers offense finally woke up on Sunday, an 8-2 victory. They got some home runs from Freeman, 2 from him, another from Ohtani. All right, where are we with this one? The 2 teams are tied for first place in the division again, and it seems to me that the Dodgers are not yet what the Dodgers are going to be. The bottom of their lineup for a couple of weeks now has sort of resembled what the Padres lineup, or the bottom of the Padres lineup looked like before the trade deadline, before they acquired Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano and really deepened themselves, Freddie Fermin as well. The Dodgers right now playing without Max Muncy, Kike Hernandez, Hyun-Sung Kim, and Tommy Edman. Those guys are in various states of rehabilitation from injuries. Kike is expected back first. He'll be this week, and then the others as well. Once all of that happens, then we'll see a more representative Dodgers lineup, one that you could expect would be a much more potent version of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Frankly, I am surprised, even now, looking back in retrospect, at how easily the Dodgers handled the Padres at home last weekend with essentially the same cast of characters. This is a lineup you might see in a spring training game, honestly. It's just full of holes at the bottom, or players that you would not necessarily expect to be seeing in a pennant race for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm talking about Buddy Kennedy and Alex Freeland to a point, I should say. Alex Freeland had a great series, 2 home runs, and 1 in each of the first 2 games, but he's a young guy. And they've been mixing in these guys. They have to keep playing Conforto. All of these things are happening, and it's not ideal. Once they get their guys back, okay, something else. We'll see a little bit of a different team, and we'll see them get deeper in the outfield, which is where they have a huge problem right now. In OPS, in left field, they are something like 23rd, or going into Sunday, they were 23rd. Michael Conforto, an awful season for him. That's been a bad signing. His days are numbered. Once those injured guys come back, he could be a DFA candidate without any question. So once those players come back, you figure out the outfield. You maybe keep Teoscar Hernandez in right, but hopefully get him playing better. You don't move Mookie back out there, in my opinion. If you watch the Dodgers play, Mookie Betts has been brilliant at shortstop. Brilliant defensively, and he ranks pretty highly in the metrics as well. So you figure it out with Edman and Teo and all the different players that are in the mix. Andy Pages, Kike Hernandez, Kim can play the outfield as well. That, to me, is the way they have to go. Now, the Padres, here is a team that playing at home is something else entirely. They're great at home, and they should be. And I'll talk more about this in the Inside Dish. They are a team that at home has a certain energy about them because of the crowds that they're drawing. And we saw it this weekend. They rallied from what happened last weekend at Dodger Stadium. Of course, pitching was a huge part of it, but that's a different team at home. Now, with the Padres, the question still, even with the additions of O'Hearn, Laureano, and Fermin, is the offense. This is a team that is sort of like the Blue Jays and Brewers in that they make a ton of contact and don't strike out a lot, but they don't slug like the Blue Jays and Brewers, even the Brewers. Padres are 25th or were 25th in slugging percentage entering Sunday. The Blue Jays were 6th, and the Brewers were 14th. These are all high contact, low strikeout offenses, but the Padres, for whatever reason, have not hit home runs, and Fernando Tatis Jr. has been emblematic of that. He's had a brilliant season. If you look at his strikeout rate and walk rate, they are the best of his career. You look at his defense, outstanding in right field, Gold Glove. His base running, brilliant. He just hasn't slugged the way he normally has, and Eno Saris and Dennis Lin wrote about that in The Athletic last week, why that might be happening. He's kind of, again, emblematic of where they are. If they get Tatis going again, I expect that that's going to be a different offense. If they get him hitting the ball more in the air than on the ground, that would be a huge transformative thing for them. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. Now, they should too get healthier. Jackson Merrill on the injured list right now. Michael King also on the injured list. Jackson Merrill obviously is a huge player for them. He's going to come back. They kind of debated putting him on the IL for a couple of days there because they thought maybe he could come back without going on the IL, but didn't happen. They get Michael King back, and they get Jackson Merrill back, not Merrill King, then they'll be in really good shape. So that's the Padres Dodgers, exciting series, no question at Petco. And finally, I want to touch on the Mets and Phillies just a little bit. The Mets have a little bit of a Yankee thing going in that they're beating up lesser teams, and we'll see how they do against the better teams. They trail the Phillies by 7 games in the National League East. 7 games. Now, they have a series against the Phillies this week. And the Phillies, yes, terrible loss of Zach Wheeler. Thank goodness he's okay. He had the TOS surgery. He's going to...
All right, Dodgers Nation. What if I told you that our front office is cooking up something huge this offseason? I'm talking about a move that would shake the entire National League West, make the Padres sweat, and turn the Diamondbacks into a farm system for the Dodgers. Yep, you've probably seen the reports. Ketel Marte, the Diamondbacks' $116 million all-star second baseman and one of the most complete hitters in baseball, could be on the move. And guess who's lurking, ready to pounce? That's right, your Los Angeles Dodgers. Stick with me because in this video, we're breaking down why Marte is exactly what we need, what a trade package could look like, and how this deal could completely reshape the 2026 Dodgers roster. Let's get into it. Here's the situation, Dodgers fans. The Diamondbacks are frustrated. They locked Marte up on a 6-year, $116 million deal, thinking he'd be the cornerstone of their franchise, but it feels like the relationship is getting rocky, and while Arizona's got some great young talent, Corbin Carroll, Jordan Lawler, Drew Jones, they're struggling to find consistency. That frustration, that's where Andrew Friedman steps in, and we all know what happens when he smells an opportunity. Let me just say it, Marte fits the Dodgers like a glove. The guy is raking this season. 290 batting average, 388 on-base percentage, 534 slugging, and 23 home runs heading into the offseason. He's a 3-time All-Star, plays a solid second base, and has that combination of power and discipline at the plate that we just don't have enough of in the middle infield. And let's be honest, second base is a spot where we could use an upgrade. Miguel Rojas and Kike Hernandez are hitting free agency, Max Muncy is turning 35, and even though Mookie can shift around the infield, we want him healthy and fresh, not playing every day in the dirt. Slide Marte into second, keep Mookie in right, and suddenly this lineup looks downright terrifying. Betts, Ohtani, Freeman, Smith, Marte. Pick your poison, opposing pitchers. Now, here's the thing. Marte isn't coming cheap. That $116 million contract runs through 2028, but honestly, for a player producing at his level, that's a bargain in today's market. Look at what other all-star infielders are making. This deal is team-friendly for what Marte brings to the table. The D-backs know that too, which means the Dodgers would need to come in heavy with a prospect package. Think about names like Alex Freeland, one of the hottest infield prospects in our system, maybe even pairing him with a young arm like Nick Frasso or Jackson Ferris to sweeten the deal. Yeah, it stings to lose those guys, but when you're in a championship window, and let's face it, with Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman, that window is wide open. You make those moves. And let's not ignore the bigger picture here. Stealing Ketel Marte from a division rival is a power move. Imagine this. You weaken a team that's been a thorn in your side these past few years, while simultaneously adding one of their best hitters to your own lineup. That's how you send a message, not just to the D-backs, but to the entire National League, that the Dodgers are done messing around. And just picture it, opening day 2026 at Dodger Stadium. Buxton in center, Marte at second, Ohtani and Betts anchoring the lineup. That's not just a team, that's a super team. Here's my take. This is exactly the kind of deal Andrew Friedman loves to make. Marte is under control for multiple years, fills a clear need, and doesn't blow up the luxury tax situation. Plus, his skill set, high on-base skills, sneaky power, clutch hitting, is tailor-made for October baseball. Sure, there's risk. The prospect cost will be steep, and maybe the D-backs hesitate to send him to a division rival. But if we bring the right package, one they can't refuse, I don't see how they say no. So Dodgers Nation, let's talk. We is a Ketel Marte, the missing piece for this team heading into 2026. Would you move top prospects like Alex Freeland or Nick Frasso to make this happen? Drop your takes in the comments below, smash that like button if you're ready to see Marte in Dodger blue, and don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started with what's shaping up to be another blockbuster offseason. This is Victor, your diehard Dodgers fan, signing off with one thing left to say: let's go Dodgers!